Hi, I'm John Zimkus, and this is The City Show. Today we've got three guests with us, and they are from left to right. Amy Johnson, supervisor of the Talbert House Prevention Services for Warren and Clinton County. And then we have Ann Brock, trauma outreach coordinator and Warren County Safe Communities coordinator for Premium Health, and Sheriff Dan Patnode from the Ohio State Highway Patrol. Welcome. Now, you all come from different backgrounds, but we're here to talk about one thing you have in common, and that is concern about impaired or distracted driving. Jeff, we'll begin with you. How big a problem is impaired or distracted driving in Ohio today?
It's a big problem because it's changing lives. So as far as in fatal crashes, we're seeing somewhat of an uptick on crashes. We handle about 1,200 fatal crashes a year. And out of those 1,200 crashes a year, over 50% of those involve impaired driving. So that's 600 plus families where their lives are changed forever. And the thing is with impaired driving, it's 100% preventable. Whether you designate somebody to stay sober while you go out, or a ride share, or call a taxi to get yourselves home safely. So there is a problem with impaired driving, and we're out there, we're combating the issue. But it takes part for everybody to understand that, don't get behind the wheel while impaired.
Has it changed any as to what substance the driver is using? Is it alcohol, or is it moving into drugs or marijuana?
We're seeing more impairment on marijuana since it has been, legalized as far as recreational. So that has upticked quite a bit. But the alcohol is still there, and also the prescription drugs also is still a problem.
Now, when someone gets pulled over for impaired driving, they have the result of their actions, but will they also possibly be arrested for having an impairment, or having illegal drugs or whatever? Is that an additional charge?
Yeah, so you'll have your initial charge of the reason why you were stopped, whether that's marked lane, speeding, of that assortment. Then once the officer makes the approach and he's has indicators of impairment, that's when you're going to be requested out of the vehicle, and you're going to be put through a series of field sobriety tests. And if there's enough indicators there for the officer to make a arrest, at that point in time, yes, there's going to be a charge for an OVI. And whether if you provide a sample or whatever the officer may think that you're impaired on, whether it's alcohol, a drug, marijuana, there's different tests we'll ask for. And they'll, if it's alcohol, you get a breath sample. If we think it's other things, we'll ask for additional things. But yes, those are all additional charges.
Now, marijuana driving is increased, as you were saying. How difficult is to test for that?
Far as the field sobriety, there's different type of clues for that. What's really great in our section is we have DREs. That stands for drug recognition experts. So they're specialized, trained in recognizing different impairments on different type of drugs, whether that's marijuana, if it's different type of narcotics. So they will do additional tests to determine what type of impairment level you're at as far as those.
Now, the main reason why you're here today is because of a tour and also a program. Now, Amy, the Talbert House for years has had Be One of Us. What is the Be One of Us problem, issue, or program?
Well, the program started in 2020, and it is kind of a collaborative effort between Talbert House Prevention as well as several coalitions and agencies throughout Warren County. And we're basically trying to promote responsible drinking and to provide education on like low risk drinking guidelines. And we want people also to be aware that our actions, our behaviors are watched by youth, and we are role models. So, that impacts how they will in turn develop in thinking about alcohol and using it responsibly.
Now, the Talbert House has been doing this program for a number of years. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Now, who is the us in Be One of Us?
Well, us is the whole community. We are all role models to the youth. We are all responsible kind of for our neighbors. So we're just saying we're not prohibitive of people using alcohol or, legally using other substances. We're just saying do it responsibly. Keep in mind that your actions can impact others.
Mm-hmm. And of course, part of that impact is driving while impaired.
Exactly.
Now, Anne, you're from the Premier Health as a coordinator of 2 programs there. There's a tour going on, and it's called, what is it?
Arrive Alive.
Arrive Alive.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now, what is the Arrive Alive program?
So the Arrive Alive tour is a group of people. They come out basically to educate the public, to make others aware of the dangers of driving impaired, the dangers of driving distracted. They bring in a little Compass Jeep. You get into, or little Jeep Compass, sorry, but you get into the car, and you basically are driving the car with a VR headset on.
Mm-hmm.
And they run a program that will simulate alcohol, marijuana, or a distracted driving situation.
Now, part of that tour is going to come here, right?
Correct.
To Lebanon, the August 15th, I believe.
Yep, on the 3rd Friday.
Okay, part of the August 3rd Friday at Mulberry Plaza. Now, will there also be a Talbert House, Be One of Us booth or what have you there?
Yes, actually, we're going to be sponsoring a mocktail event as part of a collaboration with Safe Communities and Tonic True Nature. We kind of developed this event to, again, promote a healthy alternative to alcohol. If you want to come out and enjoy yourself at a great community event, you can do so. If you want to try a mocktail, we promote that. It's an alternative for someone who chooses not to drink.
What is a mocktail?
A mocktail is a drink that is made without alcohol in it. A lot of them have very similar ingredients to a cocktail. It's just without the alcohol.
Mm-hmm. Now, as I understand it, that's getting more and more popular with younger generations nowadays. Because I know many establishment now has a list of so many mocktails they will serve.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, is this going to be a contest, or is it often a contest, or?
Well, there's going to be a contest component to it. We actually have a pre-judging event that's going to happen on the 11th of August, and it's open to all community members to come in and provide their mocktail, and we'll have some guest judges from here in Warren County, and the winning mocktail will actually be highlighted at the 3rd Friday event.
Well, people, no, are these professional mixologists or just people off the street?
Actually, it can be both.
Okay.
It can be entered by a professional bartender or an amateur mixologist. We're hoping to get a combination of both.
Now, will these be for sale or during the festival of the 3rd Friday?
There could be free samples of some of the mocktails, but Tonic True Nature, one of our other collaborators, will be able to, with the permission of the mocktail mixologist that wins, to sell the winning mocktail.
Now, Tonic True Nature, do you know any background on that and what that's all about?
Well, they are a local company. I know they're going to be in another segment here with you soon, but we started collaborating with them during Healthy Family Day here during a Saturday event in Lebanon, and we just started talking about how a lot of our goals align with providing good, healthy options to people, and that's how the mocktail event was kind of designed and started.
Now, are they out of Dayton? Is that correct, or?
I believe that they are out of like Oregonia.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize they were that close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They are fairly local. So yeah.
Okay. Now, Jeff, as far as you know, do programs like this make a difference with the younger people, or I know this is something that's a chronic issue, but has it been changing at all in the number of people pulled over for impaired driving?
Absolutely, it does. It's a positive thing. Gets the young people, realizing what impairment could be like, especially with the car. So getting to individuals while they're younger and giving them the experience of some of these events, what could happen if you decide to do this, it sticks in their brain, and it definitely is a positive event.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell the public about either Arrive Alive or Be One of Us?
We're still taking entries for the contest.
That's an
So,
excellent point.
yes.
Yes.
There's several flyers around town. You can also join through the QR code that's on our Facebook page.
Oh, this is the Talbert House.
It's Talbert
face-
House of Warren Clinton counties. It has the QR code and it takes you right to the registration.
Mm-hmm.
And the registration's open until the 10th.
I know, talking about the mixologist and the mocktail reminds me of a cartoon I saw once, although it was dealing with coffee. It was a guy at a coffee shop, and he had one of those big fancy coffees. And he turns to the clerk and says, "It still tastes like coffee." And many times these drinks are made to hide the taste of the alcohol. People don't want it. Our first response to alcohol sometimes is shaking our head, but it's an interesting aspect of life. And one of the things you want to do with the program, of course, is say that it's one of the phrases I saw was positive peer pressure. It's fine not to have an alcoholic drink.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes. And it doesn't have to be a Diet Coke or a 7-Up or something. It can be something of a more adult nature and taste, but non-alcoholic.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's kind of what we're looking for with those mocktails.
Yeah.
It's just something that, kind of goes to that adult palate, something kind of clean and refreshing.
Oh, that's great. And like I say, I'm the historian of the Golden Lamb on Wednesday nights. Matter of fact, I'll be working there tonight. And I know on their list they have a number of mocktails that you can choose, and they change periodically. So it's good to see that sort of system is catching on, especially with the young people.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and you take care, and we'll talk to you later. We're back. Now, in our last segment, we talked about the third Friday of August and how there's going to be a mocktail contest. And now we're going to talk to 3 people from Tonic True Nature. Is that correct? And you're the people who are going to come up with the mocktails, correct? Now, you have a Airbnb in Oregonia, and you grow many of the ingredients for your own personal mocktails in your business there. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, you have a sober bar, is it called?
Yeah, we call it a SoBar.
Okay. Now, it's a traveling bar,
Yes.
and you have gone to various different places to let people enjoy a mocktail and see what it's like, especially the more natural mocktails that you guys produce. How many places have you been, or is this something new you're doing?
Well, we started Tonic in 2017. So it started as a mobile happy hour where, and at this point, I think I think it's probably up into 250 plus events that we have created. And that included the bar, but we also include music and wellness. And it was an art lounge that we did in downtown Dayton. So people would come and they would have wellness drinks and they could come and create. There was music, open mic. And that lasted quite a while. We popped up it was a pop-up. So we popped up at various places around Dayton and Cincinnati. And then we had a standalone spot in the Oregon district for about 2 years there. And then COVID shifted us. And then we had the opportunity to shift to Oregonia. And so that's kind of where this chapter began. And we've rebranded this year with the mobile, with these mobile bars that we'll be able to show you in a little bit. And Jonathan created these beautiful bars that we're now able to really step out into, bigger picture with weddings, corporate events, and that sort of thing.
Please forgive me, Lindsay, I didn't introduce your name.
That's great.
Okay, and you mentioned Jonathan. Jonathan, are you the mixologist who puts this together?
No, that'd be Dominic. He's the guy who's got he knows everyone's taste buds.
Now, is there any particular reason you went into this? Is it because of a feeling of, being more natural and less artificial things, or is it something you believe in a great deal?
I think we all have our
That's what I was going to say.
our reasons for being here. And I think at this point, in the addiction epidemic, so many people have their own reasons to wanting to be more natural and to be more healthful. Personally, for me, I had my family reasons that this was important to me. I recognized the need in family and friends for a deeper connection. Friends that struggled with addiction and mental health, and it impacted my life in ways that opened my eyes. So this, came to me as something I really wanted to see happen, and I was being connected to, just seeing a lot of different things that were happening in various places around Ohio, and really connecting the dots. And that's kind of how we got here. And it's exciting to be here and to be part of this initiative in Warren County. But I know that these guys have passion as much as mine.
Very passionate about supporting anyone in recovery or anyone that just wants to indulge mindfully. It's really cool to be out there supporting anyone that wants to choose more for themselves.
Now, have you seen a growth in interest in what you do? Are people being attracted to all your healthy mocktails now?
I feel like we're very well received, honestly. Anytime we set up, it's always a little bit different, and it's very special in that way to see the different reasons people have enjoyed what we do, or really take refuge in our booth if it's set up like that. As a career bartender, I've definitely seen the ins and outs of people choosing themselves or choosing to indulge. So it's very well received, and it's really cool to have that feedback from everybody.
Now, what kind of ingredients do you use in your mocktails? We were talking about the being natural, and we were talking earlier about the pawpaw. But are there more accessible, more someone that can put together themselves without getting too natural?
Do you want to take that?
Yeah, well, so Lindsay's done a big part of trying to find places to forage locally and finding resources that grow just locally and naturally, like mint's one of them. In the early spring or late winter, when getting maple sap, so using that in some of our ingredients, elderberry, elderflower, and again the pawpaws. That's such a big hit that we try to collect as many of those as we can and process them. They're a very unique fruit that only grows, the only tropical fruit that grows in the state of Ohio.
Wow.
As far as I know. I'm pretty sure that is a fact. But they're only good for you have to get them right off the tree. You can't get them off the ground. And, they're only good after they're off the tree for a week. So they have to be processed very quickly. That's why you don't see them in grocery stores or anything. But they're a great edible fruit.
Actually, state fruit.
Well, that means your season for the pawpaw drinks is short.
Well, we pulp, freeze, and preserve them, and then use them slowly throughout the year.
Yeah. Oh, what other kind of ingredients do you use? Are they? We mentioned the maple, we mentioned the pawpaw, and the mint. What else?
So I'll let Dominic take this in a minute, but I want to add to, because you have a lot that he processes specifically for the drinks that we've been making or will be making today. But a big intention of our menu is to follow the seasons. So as Jonathan mentioned, the maple season, the maple trees run, January, the temperatures have to be a certain temperature, and the weather has to be just right. But sometime, mid-January, and the season lasts until mid-March or so. But within that time period, the birch trees start running. And so we collect that, we create workshops for people to come participate in that. And I'm part of the Sugar Maple Festival in Bellbrook, and that's a big part of a community boil we do there. And then as the season goes on, you've got elderflower season, which is my favorite. I love elderflower cordial, and we love incorporating that into our menu. And the mojito that Dominic's going to make today can be one that we incorporate seasonally as the seasons change, as the
It's very customizable.
It's very customizable. And so then, as fall comes, there's, goldenrod. We have tons of goldenrod at our sanctuary that we make medicines and tinctures from that we can incorporate in syrups in our drinks. And there's just so many different things throughout the year. And then the pawpaw is here in mid-September. So as part of the United Plant Savers Network, we are teachers and naturalists. And it's as important to us to educate our community on being a part of nature and learning what's outside your back door and incorporating that into your own landscape so that you can have that relationship with nature.
Well, the goldenrod and the birch, is it birch syrup?
We can make syrup, but it's over 100-to-1 ratio to boiling, which we do.
Yeah.
But I also drink the water as a tonic, and it was one of nature's first tonics. I think the Vikings used it. There's some history to birch sap being used as a tonic. It's actually quite popular for people to drink and actually now market and sell the saps. But we do it as an education. It's a part of our education initiative, and we do incorporate it into our drinks as well. And we just drink it because it's delicious. And
now, before we started recording, you told me that you do have a teaching background. Is that correct? In science.
yes.
So you can verify that this is all good stuff you're doing here.
It is, and it's not what you learn in science class either. It's not what I learned to be a science teacher either.
Yeah.
So as a naturalist, this is very exciting for me to be able to share this with children and students, and I still work with schools, so I'm still in the schools. So it's a great platform for that too.
Oh, that's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Now, you are involved, I keep on forgetting, it's Tonic True Nature. Now, you have a Airbnb in Oregonia.
Yes.
The River
House.
The River House. Okay. So in this Airbnb, you also have a restaurant or a bar or?
We don't. There's a restaurant across the trail from us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Little River Bar and Grill's right there. But we host people that come and stay through Airbnb, or I'm also a yoga teacher in that community. So a lot of studios book the space. Friends that own yoga studios will do retreat there. There's 12 acres that they have privately as access to the house, so they can do the trails out there, hang in hammocks, and have that as part of their experience too.
Well, this is fascinating, and I wish you all success with this. Thank you for coming in, and we're going to have a little creation and taste test coming up. Is that correct?
Yeah, I brought some stuff prepared to give you a demonstration on how to make mocktails at home or different ingredients to look for at the store to more support your mindful indulgence. I think beverage replacement is huge in your success for anyone that really wants to monitor the amount of beverages consumed or abstain completely. I think beverage replacement has been huge to a lot of people's success stories.
Okay, well, that's fascinating. I look forward to that. Well, Dominic, Lindsay, and Jonathan, thanks for being here. Now, Jonathan, will you be here in the next segment?
Yeah, we're going to bring the bars in, get them set up.
Sounds good. I look forward to that. Well, thanks for being here. I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. We've got a special segment here, something that's never been done before on the City Show. We're going to have a little taste test and create something right in front of you. Once again, we're dealing with Tonic True Nature. First off, I will tell you, this is a beautiful bar setup created by Jonathan Arroyo, one of the members we just had in our previous segment. And now I'm with Dominic Jackson. And Dominic, you're going to make in front of us here a mocktail.
Very excited to share that with you today.
What kind of mocktail are we going to make?
So this one is like a mojito, or no-hito, if you will, without the alcohol. I chose this specifically to showcase its customizable So you can add different ingredients that you prefer. If you want to add different citruses, pineapple, do berries, you can really customize this to your favorite flavor profile. But I'm going to give you just the basics of making an at-home drink. Something I always start with is you will do a simple equation of a base plus an acid plus a sweetener. So for today, for example, I have a base of sparkling water. My acid will be the lime, the citrus in the lime, and the sweetener, just simple syrup, just a little sugar.
How many ingredients total do you think?
4. So with the base, just a little bit of mint and lime and
That's
sugar.
pretty simple.
And again, that's super customizable. So if you want to do like agave as a sweetener, and do like a nice mango as like more of like an acid, or pineapple as an acid, a different citrus, you can really get creative with your at-home drinks here. So this one's one of the most customizable drinks that I know. And yeah, I'm excited to share it with you today.
Okay, great.
So I have a couple tools. A shaker at home will really help you out, or you can just use like a couple pint glasses. But I'll try to make this as accessible as possible for everybody. So I start with 10 mint leaves. You can use any kind of herb from your garden or a store. You can replace this with rosemary. You can do thyme. So really get as creative as you want here with this. The world's your oyster. So you do 10 mint leaves. If you have the tools like a muddle stick here, you can use that in your tin. Otherwise, we're really trying to express the oils that are coming from these plants. So with the mint, it's always a little bartender trick is to give it a nice clap. And that excites the oils in the plant. And if you don't have the muddler, then that's definitely an essential step to get everything going there. Same with the lime. If you don't have the tools here, you can just give it a nice little squeeze. Not just the juice, but we're going to do the lime peel as well, because that's where a lot of the oils are. So this is a good example of what you do if you don't have the tools. But I do have a muddle today. So I'm going to do my citrus and the mint leaves. Give it a couple presses with a muddle stick. So we've got our acid. Now I'm going to do our sweetener. I just brought 1 ounce of the sugar today. So currently I have...
Now, what is the sugar there?
This is, great question. This is equal parts sugar and water, just heated up on a stove. So anytime you make any kind of syrups at home, if you want to do a blueberry syrup, you can do equal parts blueberry, sugar, and water, and interchange that with whatever you're doing. You could even make a mint syrup and do equal parts mint by weight, mint, water, and sugar.
Now, did you say that was an ounce?
This was 1 ounce.
1
I have
ounce,
1
okay.
ounce of sugar, 2 limes, 10 mint leaves. That's going to be the instruction here for this specific drink. So after you have your sugar, your mint, and your lime, I'm just going to add it to ice. Give this just a very soft shake just to incorporate all of those flavors, because I'm not going to blend the mint with the ice. I really just kind of want it as together as possible. Then I'm going to add my sparkling water. That'll be our base today. And we're actually already almost done, so I'm just going to give this a little stir.
And about how many ounces of the sparkling
And it's
water
that
do you
simple.
use?
I'd say about 5, so it really just depends on the glass you're using. We have a 16-ounce glass, so with ice, 1 ounce of the sugar, I'd say about 5-6 ounces of the sparkling water. So this is all ready. Excuse me. I like to do just a little bit of the garnish too with the mint. Another slap. Aromatics is a very important part of your at-home drinks. And there you have it. You have a beautiful little mojito, just a standard sparkling water, mint, and lime. But get creative at home. Definitely add some berries to it. Find out how to make little syrups. I think it's really cool when you start to let this become healthier habits that you're establishing at home, whether you're growing a garden and now you're kind of connected to your rosemary or your mint or whatever you're using to accent your sparkling water. That's another great base. You can do another base. I've used aloe water as a base, juice as a base. So that's kind of the equation that I want you to remember when it is making your at-home drink is a base plus acid plus sweetener, and that's going to give you your cocktail.
And you didn't have to shake it very much either, did
I didn't. This one wasn't really a full shake, so there's a lot of different ways to mix a beverage. Usually if you're using something with a lot more juice, orange juice, pineapple juice, you're giving it an incorporated shake to aerate the beverage. It kind of changes the mouthfeel. But when it comes to just something that simple, I want to just keep it evenly blended with just kind of almost a stir. I could have stirred there, but I just gave it a little mix because I think it again expresses the mint oils a little bit more, just with a little toss.
Well, should we give it
I'll let you.
the test?
I think I remember what it tastes like, so I'll let you take the first test. This is very refreshing, great
It
on a
is.
hot porch.
It is very refreshing.
Patio day, nice summer day. We love the seasonal aspect of everything. So when we're doing our pop-up bars, we're mindful with that as well, doing these refreshing, forageable drinks, things that can grow in the garden right now, or yeah.
What are other kind of great drinks can you make?
Thanks for asking. We actually have over 20 different drinks that we cycle through with different events, just depending on where and when we get to kind of cherry pick those. Some fan favorites, though, I'll definitely mention one is a pawpaw pomegranate. We talked earlier about featuring that locally harvested pawpaw. Pawpaw has like this banana custard mango flavor to it, really soft, also kind of refreshing. So we use in the pawpaw pomegranate, fresh locally harvested pawpaw. I make a date syrup by like boiling down dates and taking some syrup from the dates. We use fresh juice, pineapple juice, fresh orange juice, shake that up, strain on fresh ice, and do a garnish of pomegranate seeds and pomegranate juice. So that one's like a really good example of how creative you can get using all different kinds of juices, using stuff that you can either locally harvest or buy at your store. But the key to making an elevated drink really is freshness. If you can find the freshest ingredients and kind of either hand squeeze or juice them yourself through just getting a couple tools at home, then I think it goes a long way. It definitely elevates your drink.
Do you have a favorite?
I do. I always say the aloe spice is my favorite. So with that base acid sweetener equation I gave you, our base is aloe water. And then I accent that, sweeten it with a blueberry syrup that I make at home. And then cold pressed ginger is the secret ingredient to this one. I love using ginger or anything that kind of mimics that bite. If you got cinnamon or ginger, you can use clove, you can use cayenne and maple. That's a really interesting combo where you're bringing this like mouth feel to the drink, simulating something that you would be stimulated with an alcoholic beverage. I feel like that really helps with that like replacement in the brain. So I really like the cold pressed ginger. That spice really comes through. So that one's always been my favorite.
Well, that sounds great. Dominic, what does having something like this at an event bring to this community?
That's a question I actually feel really passionate about, why it's important to serve non-alcoholic beverages in social settings. And to better answer that, I kind of want to break down a little bit of the neuroscience that goes behind even seeking out a social beverage in the first place. So one thing to add is that humans are, they're patternistic. Their brains really appreciate familiar patterns. So when you're in an uncomfortable or unfamiliar setting, like a festival or a party, you don't know the house or the people, you're gonna start to kind of flow into a routine of something that you recognize, like being offered a social beverage. That's a really easy example of this. So in that routine, when you're kind of subconsciously not really even being mindful of what you're doing, you're just gravitating towards something that feels normal to you, you're being offered an alcoholic beverage primarily. That's a really common in adult settings it's centered around alcohol. So when you have a non-alcoholic option, one, it gives people the opportunity to dial back the amount of alcohol that they're drinking in the first place, if that's just their intent is mindful indulgence. And specifically the people that are completely abstaining, it's really difficult for them to navigate full situations without closing what I'm going to call a habit loop. So another part of this neuroscience is in our brains, there is a neural network called the basal ganglia, and it is responsible for all motor function, motor memory. This is also where habits are stored. So within that, it is in a loop that goes cue, routine, and reward. That I just spoke a little bit about those familiar routines that people might fall into subconsciously without even giving full thought. If you don't satiate the habit loop, and these are permanent, by the way, once a habit loop is stored in that neural network, you'll always have these same cues, or triggers is another word people use. So if you're triggered and you can't fill the loop, then you're left with this terrible feeling of craving or misplacement. And that's difficult to navigate for anyone that is fresh in recovery or even established in recovery. So when you have an option for them to, I spoke a little bit about beverage replacement being huge to people's success. When you have an option for someone to gravitate towards a social beverage, that social shield that they can now walk around and feel a little bit normal in their patterns of familiarity having a drink, it really helps them feel more comfortable in their skin in those events. And that's something that I love supporting in doing this mocktail bar, is supporting anyone that is trying to abstain completely or has already fallen into those patternistic habits where they're finding difficulty choosing a beverage, and mainly it's alcohol. So a lot of restaurants, higher end restaurants, are featuring wonderful mocktail menus. That's definitely growing in popularity. If they haven't, they're definitely falling behind. And yeah, it's really cool to just be a part of supporting anyone that still needs that social crutch.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mentioned earlier that it's better than just a regular pop or a what have you, because it's something special. So you don't feel like you're an outsider then. You feel like you're part of the community. Well,
I think you stand out too if you just have like a Coca-Cola or an ice water. It
Yeah.
definitely doesn't hit the same.
Yeah.
And if you have an elevated beverage. And also a aspect of that is people don't ask. If I'm walking around a party and maybe this week I just decided to stop drinking and I don't really feel like talking about it yet, and this is my drink that I'm walking around with, there's a lot less questions that are raised and I don't have to defend myself. And that is also a huge support in wherever you're at in your journey.
That's an excellent point. Well, Dominic, thank you, and thank Jonathan and Lindsay for being here. And you'll be able to see them on August 15th at the third Friday on Mulberry Plaza, part of the Arrive Alive booth, and also Be One of Us. We'll see you there, and we'll see you around town too. Take care.